What is up, guys? It's Fernando back with another video. Today we'll be doing my Raw recap and review for the July 20th episode. We had a real short episode. It was cut short at the end. I think I thought it was going to go on for another 15 minutes, but that wasn't the case. The Judgment Day and Danhausen carried the absolute hell out of this show. I don't think this show was necessarily that good. There was no substance. There's no real good storytelling, I would say. Like I said, the Judgment Day, every time the Judgment Day and Danhausen were on my screen, I was laughing. So that brought me good entertainment. But the show just seems off. Like I said, we didn't get progression from much, really. And another thing was, they littered this entire show with recaps from the Fanatics Fest. I get that that's their thing, that this is a big thing they're trying to push with them merging with all these NBA players, NFL players, all these other companies, and a lot of advertising. But they are pushing the hell out of this Fanatics Fest. Like, I watch WWE. I tune in every week to watch wrestling, to watch the storylines, to watch talent. I don't care what happened outside of that. I mean, you could throw in maybe one or two if something big happens, like the storyline progression between Gunther and Nick Aldis, or Cody and Punk. You could throw small clips in there like that, but showing all these athletes, I don't care. Like, I saw it online. I saw it on the internet. I don't want to see it on my show. I want more quality content. So that was that's a number one complaint here. For some reason, I felt like it was just overboard on this episode. I know it's bad every week, but it was just overboard. But like I said, the show in its entirety wasn't too good, so let's get into it. We start the show off with Javon Evans and Dragon Lee versus The Vision. Javon Evans and Dragon Lee, they come out flying. They attack before the match, and they're going back and forth. Real quick match. It ends with pretty abruptly, really quickly. This match didn't go on for too long. With Logan Paul and Maxine cheating, the Vision were able to pick up the victory, and then they attack them after the match. And Alpha Academy coming for the save, and the Vision gets the upper hand on them and takes them out and beats them up. I mean, like I said, what am I supposed to do with this? This did nothing. Again, it's just the repetitiveness of this storyline that no one really cares about. Like, this has no steam behind it. And again, it's just dragging Braun Breaker into something that he does not need to be a part of. They just need to immediately pull him out of this. Somehow, some way, WWE needs to get him out of here. I'm not the biggest Braun Breaker fan. I don't think that he is near the level of like the Obafemis, the Trick Williams, I even see more with Javon Evans, but I just don't see what they're doing with him here. Again, another petty little nonsense of them getting over in the Alpha Academy, pretty much being the bullies and cheating their way to victories with the help of Logan Paul. They're not getting that good of reactions. I mean, Maxine got Austin Theory a couple boos, but again, we still do not care about the Vision faction. This is just a mess. Not the best way to start the show. And then we get to where the Judgment Day really, Judgment Day and Danhausen for the most part. Danhausen, they put their backpacks on and they carry this show. We get pretty much Danhausen bullying Judgment Day bullying Danhausen, holding up against the wall, demanding that he gives them money. So then Danhausen goes to the ring with a suitcase. And he says he's going to give out all the money to the Detroit Housens, the fans, and the Judgment Day comes back, and they beat him up. And that, wanting to get their money back, they get the briefcase, and it leads to a backstage segment where they're pretty much going after Danhausen, and they realize that it's fake. The Judgment Day realizes it's fake money. JD McDonough throws the briefcase and hits Obafemi. They go back and forth arguing. There was a funny little segment backstage with Adam Pearce, Obafemi, the Judgment Day, Joe Hendry. That would lead to a match between JD McDonough and Obafemi. Again, this was just a squash match, quick 15-second match. Obafemi gets the victory. Great way to bring a little bit of entertainment with the Judgment Day and Danhausen, and then have a special way to get Obafemi on to the show and have him have a match, get the crowd hype for him. He talks into the camera a little bit. Real simple. Nothing crazy. But again, I laughed throughout the entirety of the segment. And then we got Obafemi. So I would say that that's a pretty bright spot in the show. And then we get to the most pointless, the most stupid, the dumbest thing I've seen in quite some time. We have Solo Sikoa comes to the ring. He immediately calls Seth to the ring. And he tells him, "I'm here to help you, Seth," pretty much. And Seth doesn't know what to trust him or not. He tells him he'll decide later if he wants his help. Jacob Fatu comes to the ring, chases Solo away, and Seth kicks Jacob Fatu. What? What am I supposed to make of this? This was the most pointless nothing burger I have ever seen. Like, there's literally no meaning behind this. No meaning at all. Nothing. This was so dumb. I was like, that's it? As soon as the segment ended, I'm like, that's it? And later we would get Seth in the backstage area pretty much instigating Jacob Fatu, saying, "You can't hit me because it's the orders from Seth. If I beat Roman, or the orders from Roman, if I beat you, if I beat Roman at SummerSlam, geez, I can't talk. Do I get you? Do I get Roman's bag boy? Like, this is just a humiliation ritual for Jacob Fatu at this point, because he is an absolute embarrassment to what he was. He is a shell of himself. This is an absolute joke. This segment was pointless. Again, this rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, they advertised Seth Rollins on Raw, and this is all we got of him was a super kick. That's literally it. Dumb, pointless. I hated this. And again, just makes Jacob Fatu look like more of a joke. Then we have Penta and Chad Gable versus Rusev and Ethan Page. Again, this was another just a match for the sake of a match. Again, these two, we have the classic babyfaces versus the heels in the mid card. It ends with a cool finish where Chad Gable's going for a ankle lock on Rusev. He kind of like bends over. Penta jumps off Chad Gable, hits a Mexican Destroyer on Ethan Page, and Rusev taps out to the ankle lock. Again, this is a nice display of some wrestling, and they're really trying to just build this match for Penta and Chad Gable at SummerSlam based off of respect, which there's not really much you could do here. I was thinking Chad Gable isn't the most charismatic person on the microphone. He's not the best microphone worker. And as everyone knows, Penta is not an English speaker. His first language is not English. So to have them go on the mic against each other, trying to build this feud, isn't necessarily the best way or the best path, in my opinion. So purely having them in the ring is great. Like, that's the only way they're going to be able to build this, and it's obviously going to be built on respect. With Chad Gable, what he did in AAA, it was all based on his in-ring storytelling, his facial expressions, even though it was behind the mask, and his in-ring work. So that's what really got him and his act over in Mexico and AAA. So maybe they can bring some of that into the main roster here and try and build that storyline up, but I don't see WWE putting too much time or effort into them building up the storyline. I just think they're just having it for the sake of a match, and hopefully let them be able to tell a good story and put on a good match at SummerSlam. So again, not too much from here. The match was okay, nothing major. Great finish, but I won't harp on it too much. Good little match here. And then we get to another segment with this was the Dirty Dom versus Joe Hendry match that was made early in the night. This match was, again, comedy, great entertainment. Joe Hendry is unbelievably strong. He's got an absolute sleeper build. He looks big, but the way he's able to pick some of these superstars up and just toss them around is incredible. I never expected that type of stuff from Joe Hendry. But anyways, we get Liv. She's distracting. She's trying to play a role in this match. And Danhausen comes marching to the ring like this. Liv eventually hits him in the face. He goes off. And the match continues. Liv eventually tries to cheat again. And that leads to Danhausen coming out in his little car. And on the back of his little car, he has Io Sky. As soon as I seen that, I was dying, because Danhausen doing Io Sky's little emo and Io Sky on the back doing her emo was freaking hilarious. So obviously Io Sky comes, she takes out Liv Morgan. They're fighting on the outside. The ref is distracted, and Danhausen comes to the ring, is able to hit his triple D is what it's called, the Danhausen something drop. I forget. But he's able to hit that on Dominic Mysterio, and Joe Hendry is able to pick up the win over Dominic Mysterio. Again, this was just another great entertaining segment. Built the rivalry between Io and Liv ever so slightly with them getting involved, and then obviously it was announced right after the match we have Danhausen versus Dirty Dom at SummerSlam, which everyone kind of expected, but yeah, the pretty much we're waiting for the SummerSlam to get the biggest name of the Judgment Day, which is Dominic Mysterio, and the biggest merch seller of in WWE, Danhausen, to get him on the SummerSlam card. At this point, Judgment Day is just a shell of herself, which everyone's known, and they are just a complete comedy act with JD, Dom. Liv is just has been on the shelf, been off to the side in the women's division for a while. So we'll see what I'm intrigued to see what they do with them after SummerSlam, because I don't see too much going on here. But as the comedy and entertaining aspect of everything, this was just great, man. Every time Danhausen is appearing on my screen, I'm just laughing my ass off, just based on his facial expression and his movement. And his movements, it's just comedy gold, man. So, like I said, they really carried the show. They had at the beginning, in the middle, and they even ended this was near the end of the show. And then we get to the main event ish. We have LA Knight. He's gonna face Jacob Fatu, and he comes in the ring. He immediately starts cutting a promo. And he's questioning why Solo Sikoa wants to help Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, and he knows that the Bloodline's gonna use the number advantage. But then he really digs into Roman Reigns, which I liked. He cut a promo, and he's basically saying that he is everything Roman and the company wanted Roman to be. He basically was saying that he got over organically. The people started loving him organically, and it took 10 plus years, and Roman still couldn't do it. I really liked this promo by LA Knight. I think it went over a lot of people's heads, but he talked his shit, and they gave him some time, and he cut a fantastic promo on Roman. But that eventually leads into the match between him and Jacob Fatu, and this match is super physical from the get. They are hitting each other. A lot of the portion of the match took place on the outside, them throwing each other into the post, into the announce table, into the steel steps, just obliterating each other on the side of the ring apron. Eventually, it comes with Jimmy Uso comes for a distraction, and that leads to Solo Sikoa, Royce Keys, and Jey Uso. With all the distraction outside, Jacob Fatu takes advantage. Hits the moonsault, and 1, 2, 3. He picks up the victory over LA Knight, and this continues to be pretty much just a all-out war between all 6 of them, and the Bloodline eventually takes advantage, and they get the upper hand, and they destroy Royce Keys, Solo Sikoa, and LA Knight. It's a real basic setup where you have 3 factions go at it. One stands tall at the end, and nothing new, nothing crazy, nothing special here. I'm glad they finally got a physical between all 6 of these, and they ended up laying one of the teams out. Like I said, they've done all they really can to promote this. I mean, there's not much more they can do besides them fighting up for the next 2 weeks until we get to the match at SummerSlam. But like I said, nothing crazy. I'm one of those people, I cannot stand the Bloodline, so it just was stupid for me to see them all holding up the ones at the end. I think they're so damn corny. Again, this was they kind of threw a mosh posh of a team together that didn't really make sense, and had them fighting it out with the Bloodline, but. The show ended at 10:15, so I'm thinking is Seth gonna come out? Is Roman gonna come out? Are we gonna get continuation? What's gonna go on here? They could continue battling, but no, that's how the show ended. Just the Bloodline standing tall at the end of it, which kind of rubbed me the wrong way, pissed me off to end the night. So overall, the show didn't really give me much besides some comedy. That's if I'm gonna be completely honest, that was pretty dumb in my opinion. This show. But I'll give credit where it's due. Danhausen, I love you. You saved this show, and for the rest of it, it was just meh. Here's a match for the sake of a match. We're not going to progress anything, even though we're 2 weeks away from SummerSlam. We're not going to progress nothing. We're just going to give you a plain Raw. But anyways, yeah. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all Friday. We'll see what that show has to offer. That's worse than this. But thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.